I'm Detective Emily Rowland, and I'm on a mission. After a campground massacre that saw people gutted and hanging from trees, it was my goal to help a college kid clear his name. People believed the murders to be his doing, but I knew otherwise. All across the country, there have been similar murders, and after hearing witness accounts, I knew this wasn't one person. This wasn't a person at all. Something evil lurked out there, consuming and possessing innocent people. Now, it's my job to figure out how to stop it.
Detective Rowland is one of the many characters of Paralyzed, a horror audio drama produced by Seven Lamb Productions. The story centers around sleep paralysis and the demons that are conjured within, creating a world where dreams become reality. If you're interested in listening, go to sevenlamb.com or search for Paralyzed wherever you listen to podcasts.
I was actually going to let the music go for a really long time.
Nope,
and now
cut
people
off.
would be like, what's going on? Where's the Alter Ego Podcast? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, is, the
Not as
returning, glorious, the champion of the realms, Mr. Mark is back. Give it up for Mark.
Woo, I'm back from the dead, everybody.
Yes. All the things we said about him on the last episode were not true. Most notably, he's not dead.
How dare you?
Yeah, well, I had to get the people really, invested.
Get them invested in me as a dead person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
wanted them sending flowers to the studio and things like that.
Did it work?
No.
Oh, that
Nobody
makes sense.
cared.
Seems a little too close to home for me.
Yeah. A lot of people kept messaging me, just cancel the show now.
Now
No,
they're probably
Mark.
like, can I fill his spot? Or is there? I hear there's an opening.
We do have somebody who is coming in to sit with us today, Miss Megan Austin.
What up?
How
At
are you
the head of
doing?
the
I'm
table.
just super.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah.
And before we get into today's episode, which is about The Boys,
The boys.
which is the show that was on Amazon Prime, but more notably before that, it was a graphic novel that is very graphic.
Yes, I was going
Graphic
to say.
is the word to define.
And the show kind of took after that as well. We got to shout out the sponsors before we go any further. And a returning sponsor, how? I don't know,
They back.
is Forged Supply Company. Alter Ego sponsored by Forged Supply Company, makers of all natural and organic soaps for men with scents like tropical teakwood, citrus IPA, cypress pine, pickled pus juice, blood spurt, transient road scum, and more. Visit their website at FordSupply.com to order online and use promo code Alter Ego to get 10% off your order. Ford Soap. Real soap?
No bullshit.
No bullshit!
I think there's a smudge on your copy where the scents come in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was really about to give you some kudos on the old commercial voice.
It was
and then
doing
you
real
started
good
to
until
go
you
south.
hit hobo road scum.
Yeah.
Hobo Roads.
I just want people to get on the website and try to order blood spurt or pickled pus juice.
Hibiscus Hobo. That's the next week. You got to put that on next week.
Hibiscus hobo. Every time I look at the
Starts
list, I'm
real
like,
nice.
let me add a few more that are not good. Now, wait a minute. They have more than tropical teakwood, citrus IPA, and cypress pine. What else do they have?
We have peppermint amber.
Uh-huh.
They have that. What else? Hold on. Sandalwood bourbon.
Mark knows a guy. I want to smell like bourbon.
Who doesn't?
I want DCF called on me when I'm out in public with my kids and I smell that much like bourbon. I want them to be like, oh, my God.
Just swinging around a container. You're like, it's just soap.
Yeah.
Soap.
It's just soap,
Just a brown
ladies.
bag full of soap.
It's just soap, ladies. Calm down.
And what's the other one? Oh, activated charcoal.
Ooh.
Ooh.
As
Which
opposed to deactivated charcoal.
doesn't smell great, but it's wonderful on your skin.
Yeah, I would use
Their
that.
clever names are my favorite, like Castaway and
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith and Gentleman.
Spoiler alert, my wife has cruised their site several
I
times.
Had, well, for good reason. Anyway,
What's the good reason?
you stink.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that is rude.
No,
Well,
Ford
shot to
Supply
the heart,
makes
and you're
some
too late.
amazing
Here's where we
soaps.
cut, and then we come back and be like, well, it's just Mark and I today.
I've been booted.
Mysterious disappearance. It's just the boys.
Yes, it's just the boys and that girl. So just to clarify today, how did I get into the boys? First of all, I saw
When did you
something
get
about
into
this
boys?
book.
Yeah, tell us.
It's been about 34 years, honestly. When I
Camp.
found out that my milkshake brought all the boys to the yard, damn right, it's better than yours. No, I saw the comic for the boys at Emerald City, and I was talking to it with my good friend Dave over at Emerald City Comics, and he was like, "Yeah, man, the boys is awesome. Have you not ever checked it out? They're doing a show on Amazon." And I said, "Oh, really?" So before the show came out, I bought both mega volumes. Spoiler alert, the books are very short in terms of like ongoing stories go. Like if we had everything for Saga, it's about 1.5 feet tall.
Oh, yeah, way big.
This isn't that long. It's a great story, though. It is filled with a lot of gore and debauchery and things of that nature, I would say. And I think the show has really followed that.
Absolutely. So I'm
Closely.
looking here on the desk, and I see 2 volumes.
Yeah.
Are these 2 full independent story arcs here?
No,
No?
it's all one story.
It's all one story?
It's
just
all,
going throughout?
you know, if I had to describe it to anybody, as far as the comic books go, they are the government-funded police of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're the SWAT team when superheroes are too overpowered
Wow.
and getting their egos going, or maybe they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. The boys go in and regulate.
Okay, so they kind of allude to that a little bit. Not to get ahead of ourselves about the TV series, so
Right.
we'll save on that. But that's an interesting idea that I like.
I do too. And it obviously takes a lot of different directions in the book and in the show. Some people have ulterior motives on both sides, whether you're with the boys or whether you're the superhero. There's a lot of twists and turns that have happened in season 1. I really like season 1.
Are we
Oh, yeah.
trying to avoid spoilers?
I was going to
'Cause
say,
we're
should
gonna
we just
fill
do
this
spoiler
beast.
alert?
I was
Yeah.
going to say, and I was going to put it on the episode, spoilers included.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is tons of spoilers.
Because, I mean, we could tiptoe around it, but I say we just dive into
I
it.
feel like we won't be doing it
I
any
think a
justice.
spoiler-free review of season 1 right before season 2 comes out is kind of, I don't know, stupid.
Where have
Yeah.
you been?
Yeah.
If
So
you haven't binged it yet, you need to binge it.
Pause this podcast.
Yeah,
watch
right
all
now.
10 episodes,
and then pick us
come back to
up
us.
in like 8 hours.
Pause it, watch all 8 hours, and come back. So here's the actual description that was on the
The wiki.
the fandom for The Boys. I'll just go ahead and read that quickly. The Boys is set in a universe where superpowered individuals are recognized as heroes by the general public and owned by a powerful corporation, Vought International, which markets and monetizes them. Outside of their heroic personas, most are arrogant and corrupt. The series primarily focuses on 2 groups. The Seven, Vought International's premier superhero team, like your Justice League or your Avengers of this particular universe, and the titular Boys, vigilantes in the show, looking to keep the corrupt heroes under control. The Boys are led by Billy Butcher, who despises all superpowered people, and the Seven are led by the egotistical and unstable Homelander. Yeah.
Homelander. That son of a bitch.
You
What
know
a
that by
dick.
the end of it. But let me tell you something. Here's one big difference in the book than the show. In the very beginning of The Boys, the show, Starlight, isn't that her name, Starlight?
Yes.
She is sexually assaulted by the Deep. And in the comic books, she has a very similar situation where another hero is going to sexually assault her if she doesn't join the team, the Seven, and the Homelander shows up, and you think Homelander's coming there to regulate, and he pulls his pants down and is like, no, me too.
2 for 1 special?
Yep.
2 for
Oh,
1 special.
That scene was bad enough. Like,
I
Yeah.
know.
Like,
Terrible.
Yeah, we don't need more people here.
Yeah.
I
So
think-
in the book, that's the way it goes. They start off with Homelander being an absolute dick.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long in the show either, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's
I'm
about- what
pretty
is it,
sure
about 3
I was gonna
episodes?
say- I don't even know. Is it that long?
I think it starts to show his ego pretty early on,
Yeah.
but I
But
don't
as far
know.
as his corruptness, you're right. I think it's probably late second, early third, maybe.
Right.
That you kind of see that
Yeah.
he really is not even just one of them. He is the corrupt one.
I don't remember which, because they kind of allude to it and hint to it a little bit as he's doing these interactions with his boss. But that episode where they board the plane and shit goes haywire, and that little girl's like, "You're gonna save us, right, Homelander?" He's like, "Sure, sweetie," and then the plane just crashes,
Yep.
and he just watches it go. I'm like, what a disgusting human being.
Yeah, he literally,
Yeah.
I fucking hate him because of that episode specifically, but
And let me just clarify, it is not other superheroes that start this in the comic book. It is Homelander that starts it.
Oh,
And then two others, Black Noir and A-Train, show up, and she thinks it's going to be a fiasco, and they're like, oh, sick, we're breaking in the new recruit. Yeah, it's effed up.
boy.
and we find out later too, who's the other girl? What's her name? I always
Maeve.
Queen Maeve.
Maeve.
Queen Maeve.
We find out later, and I don't know if it's portrayed in the book as well, but we find out later that she was pretty much inducted the same way.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you know, she's
She kind of
She's
does
just
a,
like, chin
you'll
up,
get
honey."
used to it.
yeah, she does it. You'll get used to it, or like just be an asshole. Like
Yeah.
you know, be yourself and be an asshole because it's gonna happen.
Well, well, that's the switch. It's at the beginning. It seems like, okay, just get used to it. This is kind of how we do things around here. So you just
Yeah,
got to kind of
once
grit your
you-
teeth and whatever and get through it. But towards the end, she's like, just be yourself.
Yep.
She kind of grows a little bit of respect for
There's
it.
a lot of characters that go through some humbling story arcs in this show. Not just Queen Maeve, who deals with what she deals with on the plane with Homelander, but there's the Deep, who's the one who kind of initiates that and kind of comes full circle.
Yeah, I love the arcs of all these characters throughout because they all kind of have like peaks and dips, and I don't know, it just made it really compelling. It made me want to watch the next episode. I like when you can see some like realization to what they're doing and reactions to how they're treating other people, and they kind of pivot and they try and make themselves a
They're
better
like, we are
person or a
supposed to
worse
be good,
person.
yeah.
And you kind of see that the gears turning in these superheroes as it's going on, but more often than not, it just tips to the bad side.
I think that's interesting, but I think one thing that The Boys does really well, and it's kind of sad and disheartening when you're reading it and you're seeing it and you're realizing it, is that it's much more grounded in reality than you'd like it to be.
It's a little too close
Yeah.
to home.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these superheroes do some things that some real scumbag people that if they got powers, they would do
They
for
had
sure.
power, yeah.
So I got into this argument with my barber today. We were talking about The Boys because it was on my mind. And I
You
was thinking
argued
about-
with somebody that had scissors up to your head?
Yes, I mean,
Smart.
my haircut's not
Smart.
very long, so it was in and out.
Sorry, Mark.
But I consider this almost like a parody / commentary on superheroes.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
I don't know if I'd say it was a parody so much as it was a commentary on human behavior if superheroes were involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, these are what we think of these people, but what would it actually be?
Yep.
Kind of in the realm of like a Deadpool, but to the other end of the spectrum. Whereas I consider Deadpool a comedy parody of superheroes. He makes fun of the superhero landings. He breaks the fourth wall. He kind of chums up with people. I see this as like a gritty, disgusting version of superheroes. And if superheroes were real, this would probably be pretty close to home.
I that's what I was going to say is I think this would be pretty close to it. I could see somebody with powers like Homelander getting so enveloped in the fact that they're so powerful and nothing's ever really going to stop them, quotation marks, that they would, like he says at one point, he's like, I'm the Homelander. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the say-all-be-all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of disgusting. And I mean, it really sets that tone early in the show and in the comic as you start off with Huey, no matter what iteration you're in, and he has somebody like he has troubles in both with acceptance and with relationships and
So is that
with
how the comic starts off as well?
being
with
able
that
to
scene?
open up. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's A-Train specifically in the comics. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but a speedster runs so fast trying to do something. I don't think it's the same motive in the comic. I could be wrong. But he physically is running so fast that he runs through her as a human being. And she basically explodes like a water balloon.
Like
When-
instantly, yeah.
When
Yeah.
that happened, I'm like, that's the pace setter? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
this is
That's
where
where
we're
we're starting.
Yeah, I kind of knew that something crazy was going to happen. I mean, I didn't really know anything about the boys, but you know, Jack had explained it to me of kind of like what they were corrupt and blah blah blah. And so when we were watching the first episode, and it was very hand holding and cups of coffee, and you know what I mean, lots of love,
Yeah.
love, love. I was like, something fucked is about to happen.
Yeah.
Like I could just feel it. I was like, something is going wrong soon because this is too good.
Yeah.
And it's so like A-Train is another character where it's like if this was grounded in reality, he's a speedster. But if he's not the most powerful speedster, he's not the fastest speedster. Who is he? He's only second best. So he's willing to do anything to become the fastest.
And that's kind of the way they've shown superheroes in a commercial world, which I 1,000% was like, this is the scary thing, is this does happen to people. You know what I mean? I'll take, for example, not condoning any actions or anything like that, but just using as an example, Michael Vick. Michael Vick was Nike's golden boy. He had all that money invested. He was such a great guy. Then all the story breaks about what's going on with him, with the dog fighting and all that. And all of a sudden, he's nowhere to be found. With good reason. Again, I get that.
Yeah.
But take a look at it's a superhero, and a superhero does something like that, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it starts in the very beginning of that episode where, you know, as soon as this happens, some random attorney shows up at his office and is like, listen, this is A-Train. You're never going to get anything out of him. He's the fastest man alive. He's a hero. He was just doing his job. Here, let's give you this check.
It was like 45 grand.
It is
Yeah.
45
Yep.
grand. And that's the thing. They give him this $45,000 check as if to say, this is how much your girlfriend's life is worth to our company.
Disgusting.
45 grand.
Yeah.
Her life.
And
No
you
big
can
deal.
see that in Huey's face when they offer him that 45 grand. He's kind of like,
What?
what? You know, like, this is the one thing that mattered to me. And it's taken away, and because you don't want your golden boy to have to atone for what he's done, you're going to pay me and tell me to be quiet?
Which leads you to believe, how many times has this happened before?
Right.
Like, how often does this
Or
happen?
how often are they covering up their
Probably all the
mistakes?
time.
Oh,
not to
easily.
mention it's I felt like they knew they could lowball him. This happens so often. They knew they could just throw a small number out there like that and say, you know, not that you could put value on a human life, but that's kind of what it shows about Vought. You know what I mean? We've done this enough.
And then Simon Pegg coming in as the worst dad ever.
Yeah.
Just take it. I mean, what else? It's,
Take the money,
it's
son.
money.
What are you
like-
going to do? Yeah. And in that same episode, we start off with Starlight, who has her. She feels like in the beginning that she has been born for this. Her powers have gotten her here. She's good enough to be a part of the Seven. This is a dream come true. And you see her, and the actress does a great job. I have her name written down here somewhere. Let me see. Starlight. It is Erin Moriarty.
Ooh.
And
Great name.
she goes from the top of her list to the freaking bottom in one episode. And it was kind of like, oh, boy. So I kind of love that, as fate would have it, those two meet, Huey and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Starlight.
by happenstance, just
Kind of in an
and kinda-
accidental sort of way, yeah.
Yep.
and it kicks everything off because she's going through her own shit. So they're both kind of hurting
Yeah.
at the same time, and it kind of leads them to lean on each other a little bit more than you would with a
And
stranger.
it opens his eyes because he did tell that attorney, you know, can I think about it? And he gives
Yeah.
him like a day to think about it. And that's when he meets her, right? It's like right there in the beginning.
Yeah. And
it-
it's
it
also
kinda
when
opens up
he
the whole
meets
story.
my personal favorite character, not because of what he does, just because I like the way he's represented. And he's as a vigilante in this one is Billy Butcher.
Carl
who's
Urban.
portrayed
Be
by-
still my heart. I love that man.
Carl Urban, I saw something about him on Facebook the other day that he's like the nerd prince. He's been in Doom. He's been in a Marvel movie. He's been in so many pop culture things that people just don't even realize.
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd, where he didn't take the helmet off.
I was gonna say that is the one thing that kind of tipped me on Carl Urban, where I really respected him as like a comic book fan, because in the original Dredd movie,
He
Stallone
never wears a helmet.
Stallone had it written in like, "You got to see my face." Like that was all that he wanted. He wanted his face on the poster. He wanted everything. Carl Urban goes, well, to be closer
True to
to
the
the source
character,
material.
yeah.
I'm not taking the helmet off.
Yeah,
The
ever.
entire movie.
Yeah.
They're like, but you're Carl Urban, don't you want? Nope.
No.
Just like the comic.
Yep.
Not taking the helmet off. So I was just like, good
yeah,
for you, Carl
good for
Urban.
you, man.
Yeah.
You don't need your big face on a poster.
Big fans of Carl Urban around here on the
Okay,
show.
sorry to
Carl,
sidetrack.
Carl, I know you're listening. We love you, buddy.
Text me back, please.
And he's like, I sent you a finger. If you don't want it, just say so. Put the
Sent you my
chalk mark
hair.
on the outside of your door. I've been watching.
Oh my God.
I had it queued up. I just did. So Billy Butcher comes in and it's kind of like, let me show you what's really going on here.
Yeah.
Dude. And you can tell kind of right off the bat that Billy hates superhero people.
Doesn't dislike them.
Yeah.
He hates
Does
them.
not
he
dislike them.
despises them.
Everything in his being is F these dudes.
He is built to take them down.
Yeah. And he talks to Huey, and Huey kind of gives him the same as, as the lawyer's kind of like, nah, man, I'm really not interested in that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Butcher's like, listen, we could expose these people. This guy that did this to your girl, we could get them on blast right now
And shut this shit down.
and shut it down. And Huey's like, I'm not really into this. And so Butcher, who has connections all over, how I hope they address how he gets all his connections.
Yeah, with the FBI, the
Right?
CIA.
Well, he's banging the FBI girl,
That's right.
but and in the book he is too. But in there, he's more like he's a government asset, and she is too. That's kind of why he has access to her. I don't know why it is in this one, but either way,
Maybe that's a little peek into what we can see in season 2.
yeah. And so he brings Huey to this club for superheroes and finds A-Train laughing about how he ran through his girlfriend. And
Ew.
Piece of garbage.
exactly. And that's when Huey's like, you know what? I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll take the settlement check. I'll do whatever you want. And things kind of, I don't know. It's one of those scenarios where you see somebody walking with a full plate of food and they look like they're about to trip. Are they going to drop the bowl and it's
Yeah.
going to be a shit show at any moment?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how this show goes from there. I mean, because, and the 7 in the show are different than the 7 in the book. There's
The actual characters
Translucent
and-
is
okay.
not a character that's in the comics.
Gotcha.
Lamplighter, I think, who's the guy who Starlight is replacing, I think he's either dead or he's gone crazy in the book.
Okay.
I know he's gone crazy in the show.
Yeah, I was going to say it. That's what I think they did in the show as well. Did they ever show him? I don't remember.
No, they did not.
did
And I
not.
think he's going to make a play coming back.
Gotcha.
Don't know. Maybe. Haven't
Maybe
read.
he's not crazy.
Yeah, maybe he's not. As we see, nothing that's going on with Vought is up to par in this whole show.
I just like how they take all these superheroes, they kind of throw them out there with their social media following. There's a mention of a Noxzema ad at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's just
Cover
ridiculous.
Girl
They're
and
all
yeah, some other stuff. Yep.
merchandised.
And how about the fact that when they can't even fight crime the way they want to
Yeah.
because Starlight stops that girl from getting raped, does it on camera, and her handler is like, "What are you doing?
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
There's no cameras. You could have set it up. We could have actually done something with this, you idiot." And she's like verbally berating her.
She's like, well, I just
like, I
did-
literally
I was a
sa-
superhero.
I
Like,
saved the
her
girl.
life.
Right.
but nobody saw it.
Yeah.
We didn't put it on Instagram.
Right. And that's like one of the things she says.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's just upset with this, and you just kind of get disgusted with it. I didn't really get.
I love that actress, by the way, the assistant.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but every time I see her in something, I'm like, you're so great.
I don't either, but she's not in it for long.
Ooh.
She ends up getting fired,
Yeah.
I think,
Mhm.
for talking that trash. So I just want to go over that, like I was going to say real quick, who the boys are and who the 7 are. The 7 in the show are Homelander, Black Noir, Queen Maeve, Translucent, The Deep, A-Train, and Starlight. The Deep being kind of like an Aquaman type character. Homelander almost like Superman.
I was going to say it's just the Justice League.
Yeah.
Black Noir ain't like Batman.
No.
Black Noir is strong as hell. He is he doesn't ever say a word.
No.
And it's so funny. I think Homelander cracks a joke with him. He's like, "You guys can't be like him. He's always on time. He doesn't say a damn word. What's wrong with you?"
But it's basically like a Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman situation
Yeah.
and a Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have
And
the
the
boys.
others.
And the Flash.
Yeah.
The Flash.
Flash. Yeah.
So it
A-Train.
basically is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have the boys, which is Butchie,
Butchie.
Billy,
What's up,
Billy
Butchie?
Call him
Butcher,
on the side.
Huey, Mother's Milk, which is his real name, which really throws me off.
Yeah,
they just
that's
kind of
weird.
call him MM throughout the show.
Oh, boy.
But in the book, he's Mother's Milk too. And in the book, Butcher knows his whole family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like how they're like, don't ever bring Billy Butcher around here. In the book, his daughter's walking out, and she's just got done sassing him, and Billy's like, hey, go your ass back in the house, change, apologize to your father. You don't know what he does for you. You need to go in there and show him some respect and then come back. He's like Uncle Butcher.
Billy, Uncle Butcher, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's my favorite in the show and not my favorite in the comic in Frenchie. I think Frenchie's hilarious in the show. I really like him, especially when he's freaking out when Homelander's looking for Translucent and they have that little interaction. I was feeling for Frenchie there, man. I was like, oh, Frenchie, get out of this, buddy. And then there's the female. Who's another big plot point in this.
She's pretty incredible. I'm not going to lie.
She's really good in the comics. She's part of a story arc in the show in which they find out they're experimenting on people. And that's kind of how they're building supervillains.
Yeah.
Is finding people in terrible places that are known to be jihadists or, terrorists or something like that and giving them Compound V, which is one of the big focuses of this story, which is what
basically
they're
like a superhero steroid type of.
It's
chemical.
not only a superhero steroid, and I forget which episode they discuss it, but they're actually injecting that into fetuses before they're born.
I think it's like
That
the
nursery
last
scene?
episode.
Yeah, it's either the last or second to last.
Second to last, yeah, because then Starlight confronts her mom in the last episode because she finds out that that's what her mom was agreeing to when she was a kid. So I think the fetus episode happens like that's either right. It's
It's
nursery
right towards
episode.
the end.
Yeah.
It's either like near the end of 7 or the very beginning of 8. It's like way out there.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I have underlined here was in episode 5, talking about the female. You kind of find out a little bit about that. It says the Butcher and Mother's Milk discover that Vought is using Compound V on infants in order to manufacture superpowers. And then Frenchie discovers Black Noir looking for him and the girl, and he kind of feels bad for her because he doesn't want her to fall into the wrong hands, so he kind of lets her out. Black Noir grabs him, and then she fights and looks like she gets brutally killed. And then right there, the last moment of the scene, she's Wolverining back to what she was.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, this is crazy.
This is so dope. Yeah,
When she
it was
pops
pretty
in at
great.
the end, when A-Train is in the house with Simon Pegg,
Yeah.
and she pops in and breaks his legs.
Yep.
I'm like, oh,
Yes.
my God.
Yes.
She's got that strength.
And his femur just pops out the inside of his thigh. I was like, oh boy.
The
That
visual
looks
effects.
like it hurt.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What they did with all the bones popping out and faces getting crushed.
Speaking of faces getting crushed,
Yeah, let's bring that little gem out, shall we?
Haley Joel Osment
As Pop
as
Claw or
Mesmer.
what's her name?
Mesmer. He was the guy that could read people's thoughts by touching them.
Remember they find him at Comic-Con?
Yeah, because he's got a TV show, and they're like, is it bullshit? He's like, no, I can really do it. And so they're like, okay, you're going to come do that for us. And then,
I thought you were talking about the other face crushing.
oh, no.
Yeah, that's the one I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
No.
Let's talk about that one next.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And then Butcher tells him, if you backstab us, I'm going to kill you. Because he has superpowers and he hates him. And then they find out that he sold all their information about the female and all that stuff. He went straight to Homelander. And so then there's that wonderful scene where he's running from Butcher and then Butcher brutally murders him.
It's a good one.
Brutally.
Very satisfying.
And I'm kind of like, this is the way we're going with this. Is Butcher a good guy? I don't know.
We're not sure.
I don't think Butcher gives a shit about anybody in the
No.
show, which I think is a really awesome story
I
arc.
think he's one of those that's like big picture good guy.
Yeah, he's
But he
single-minded.
will
He's like,
fuck
how do I get
shit
from here
up.
to there?
Yes.
I think he's single-minded for sure.
Yep.
I don't know if he gives a shit about being a good guy
Nope.
No.
because
He wants that person to pay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in this story, that person is Homelander because he's saying that Homelander has raped and killed his wife, and that's why it's like, you know what? Fuck
So he's out for
superheroes.
personal revenge and
Yeah.
out for blood for Homelander for.
Yeah,
Raping
because
and
his
killing
wife
his
has
wife.
been gone for 8 years.
Yeah,
I
in the
think
show.
8 yeah, is it 8, 10, something like that? Long time.
And this show is going a different direction.
Then the book.
Yeah, because in the book, and they might go over this, so spoiler alert, you've been warned.
Yeah.
For books and television.
Yes, for books and television, you have been warned. If you don't want to hear this,
Stop it.
yeah. Black Noir is a clone of Homelander.
Oh.
And he has raped and eaten Butch's wife.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I don't think that's going to happen in the show.
Especially because of the way
Exactly.
the show goes.
yeah.
But I do think that
There's always a possibility for season 2.
and I think that it could pop out in season 2 that Noir is
Is the clone.
the clone. That would be dope. I'm
That
not
would be
gonna lie.
crazy. And that would be another reason why Homelander loves Black Noir.
Yeah, why they're bros.
You're
Because
the
they're
best.
literally like bros.
Yeah.
Or they're just nodding to the comics by making them
Right.
bros. You know what I mean? But I don't think you have to capitalize on that. You have to.
Yeah, that would be a great gotcha moment at the end of an episode to see Black Noir rip off the helmet and be another Homelander.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he doesn't talk. You don't see his face.
You
Like,
don't know shit about him. All
Yeah.
you know is he's insanely strong, very fast, and he doesn't do anything wrong. He's always,
yeah.
there's nothing you can say about him. He's always on time to the meetings, and it's just like, then you find out, oh, no. You know what I mean?
Well, I just found out just now.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait for season 2.
It's going to be good. And so then they say, and this is what I was kind of like, oh, shit, they're really taking this a whole different direction, is this super terrorist shows up.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just about to blow the whistle on Vought. And the FBI lady's like, we're not going to be able to fight superhero bad guys. So I'm real sorry, but your deal is done.
Yeah,
The
because
plan
now,
worked perfectly.
their plan worked perfectly because now we have this problem that we can't personally fix.
Yep, and that was
was
so poetically
Yep.
beautiful when Homelander let that ship fall.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like, oh, man, this guy's a dick. He's just letting people die for no reason. And then he basically, if you're a wrestling fan, he gets on the beach and cuts a promo.
He's like, well, I mean, if we're part of the government,
Yep.
we're in the system, we could have stopped this.
We
but
could have
this is
been
on
here.
You.
Yep, this
But
is
yeah,
on
and
you
he-
guys for
he
not
says
letting us
that-
do this.
He says that early on too, like after that plane crashes and they did absolutely nothing to help. He basically caused it from happening, and all those people died. And he does get on the stage, and that's when he's like, "If we were a part of the military, this will never ever happen again. We will make sure that it won't happen again." And then he took it to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you see, what is the lady's name that runs Vaught?
Oh, Stillwell?
Stillwell. You see Stillwell negotiating with the mayor of Baltimore, I think it is?
In the very first scene.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, that will never, ever happen.
She's like, you want a superhero? It's going to cost you some money.
yep.
We'll get you whoever you want. It's going to cost you money.
And she goes, yeah, we'll get this guy. He's a low-level dude. You can have him. No problem. We don't really care what happens with him. And they're like, no, we want somebody big. And they're like, yeah, that's money.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, we can get you somebody big if you get into Congress and tell them that superheroes should be in the military. He's like, that's not happening. And then by the end of that episode, which I believe is episode 1, you're watching his son playing on the airplane. He looks out the window. There's Homelander.
Laser eyes.
Yep. And he takes that whole damn plane down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then I believe it's the Deep finds wreckage and goes to Stillwell and was like, what the fuck, man?
Somebody with laser eyes did this? Do you know anybody with laser eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me make a call.
Mm-hmm. I think I might know a guy. Can we talk about how creepy Homelander is with Stillwell in this particular
Oh,
season?
God.
my God.
Oh, and especially the whole
Baby boy.
the last episode. It just
She's
gets
lactating.
so uncomfortable.
Elizabeth
Ew.
Shue, what are you doing?
He's just watching her through the wall.
Right. She's like, I know you're out there. I was like, oh, that makes it worse.
Gross.
And then, yeah, at some point they actually get down on it. And I'm just like,
And he's like trying to get down on it, and she's like slowing him down. She's like, "No, be a good boy." And I'm like, "Ah!"
And she's got
All of
an
this is not
actual
okay.
baby. And she's treating Homelander like he's the baby.
Call me mommy.
Gross. Yeah. So then it kind
Not
of
to kink shame. So if you're into that, hey, whatever makes you happy.
whatever. That's cool. Just keep that to yourself.
Just don't do it around me.
And don't put it on TV because it makes other people.
Yeah, don't put it on TV.
Yeah. Don't put your weird kinks on national television,
Just
please.
saying.
Or Amazon
Do you
Prime.
mind?
Or Amazon Prime specifically.
Some guy in Amazon was like, finally. Thank God.
That gives me freedom.
Finally. And so at the end of this season, I think we saw a lot of characters that I think are going to play big parts in season 2.
Are we going to get into season 2 stuff?
I think we're going to talk about the end of season 1 and how that might affect season 2.
Because I got a couple of character casting confirmations for season 2 that we can get into in a little bit.
Yes.
I think somebody who's going to make a big difference, well, there's 3, and we can comment on that if we want. That's Queen Maeve.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely...
She deserved a bigger role in this,
I
but
think
I guess
that
there's only enough time.
I think she's gonna come back as a good superhero for sure, and is gonna try to set things straight. And,
Yeah.
Are you disagreeing? Because your face doesn't seem to agree with me.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I think she's going to have had enough at some
Yep.
point. I don't know how it's going to work out for her.
It might not be great, but
Yeah.
I think that she's going to at least play an integral part in the attempt
Yes.
of saying "fuck all of this."
I'm not going to
and
say
all of
the
you.
obvious of Starlight because she made her play at the end of that season.
Yep.
She
did.
helped Huey and the boys get away, which I wasn't surprised to see that at all. I think we're going to see a major turn for the Deep, who
Yeah, he
at the
ends kind
beginning
of
of
in
the
a weird way.
series,
he hits rock bottom towards
He
the
does.
end. and-
beginning of the series got a little rapey, and then he moved out to I think it's Sandusky, Ohio,
Yeah, I was going to say it's somewhere in
in
Ohio.
the middle of nowhere.
and he gets his just desserts, if you ask me.
Oh, I like that they finally put Ohio on blast. Ohio deserves it.
And this woman is like taking advantage of him. He brings her back as a fan to his house, and she's like, "Let me see your gills."
And
He's like,
it's
"Yeah,
disgusting.
sure."
Can
It
we
is-
talk about that for just a quick second?
All of this is the worst.
It's so uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
when he's without a shirt and he's like shaving his chest, and it's like it's not even just like slits; it's like teeth or some shit.
yeah,
that's
they're
just-
like breathing.
like
and
fish
stuff.
bones.
Ugh.
It's
Fish bones, yeah.
I need to see who did the visual effects on this because
It's very-
everything looks so
it's-
bothering. Like it's
ve-
so good.
It's very well done, but it's like it's like
too well done.
rated R, creepy, scary movie esque type shit. It's
And
just a little. Ugh.
I think let's in the last one that we'll talk about that scene you wanted to talk about.
Yes, please.
A-Train.
I can see that.
A-Train starts out very bad.
and I think
he's
he's
struggling
had
with
a couple
addiction.
of humblings.
He turns on Popclaw when they go out after his race, and he dopes up and he wins the race, and they go, "Are you single?" And he was telling her, "I'm going to tell everybody we're together." And then he's like, "No, we're not together. I'm single." And then she's like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah, then she slaps on her own
She
little.
gets all drugged up and
juiced up.
sits on the face of her landlord
Oh
until
my God.
Splatsky.
That
for
was
them both.
disgusting.
Splatsky for them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
split,
goes
splat.
to full on orgasm,
Slamgasm.
And then
And
she just
she's-
kind of goes, all right.
and then his head explodes because
She's too strong.
because she's too strong and she is just aggressively,
powerful thighs.
Yeah.
Hate when that happens.
And it's
And-
like, and it happens at the same time. It makes it
Yeah.
even like, is that
Ugh.
more erotic for her? I don't know. It's
I don't think she meant to do it at all.
no.
But she also did it and went, all right.
Well,
Yeah.
And then kind of moved on with their day.
And then you have
well, I'm gonna go make some pancakes.
yeah, right. And then A-Train figures out that the boys have gotten to her,
hmm
and he kills her too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And then he blames everybody else. He's like, yo, you made me do it.
You
Yeah,
made me do
you
that.
made me do this. Yep.
And the reason I think A-Train might have an actual change is because he's probably getting tired of the fact that he's getting threatened constantly with the fact that he might have to leave the 7 because he's not the fastest.
And somebody else is about to take his place.
And not only that, he's getting ready to kill Starlight and Huey and has a heart attack, and they go and save him.
hmm
And they're like, "We got you, man." I think he is going to start off staunchly on the side of the 7 still, and slowly but surely make a change.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think those are the 3 people we're gonna see. Poor Deep. He tries to save a lobster. He likes dirty talking with the lobster. Don't worry, I'll get you out of here. And then the guy cuts its head off, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. It was kind of a sad moment. I'm not gonna lie. I felt for the Deep because
The sad
I've
moment for
had
me-
a moment like that before with a fish.
The sad moment for me is when they take he's trying to steal the dolphin, and it flies out of his fucking truck or his van, and then
That
gets
was so
run over
good.
by a semi.
Oh.
And it's like a famous dolphin too.
He's like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Just,
We're finally doing something good, and then the dolphin dies.
that's why you never do anything good.
That's right. That's why you never try to help dolphins. And then we'll talk about the big ending to season
Yes,
1.
please.
The big kaboom. I
Oh,
loved
man.
it.
It
I
was-
saw it and I went, That is fantastic. Like, that is so good.
I did not expect it to go down that way.
Not
neither.
entirely.
I didn't see it
Especially,
coming.
I mean,
I didn't expect for Homelander to just straight up kill Stillwell.
that's what I was saying. Is
Yeah.
like that. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but the way he freaking puts her out, I'm like, what the fuck?
burns through her freaking skull.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't save the baby either, I don't think.
Ooh.
Well, we'll find out.
The baby's up there
because-
crying.
And yeah,
I don't believe he makes it out, but I do believe that's a super baby.
yeah.
So maybe that baby's not dead.
Yeah, so either that's a super baby and the baby's not dead, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Here was another
or
question.
that baby is dead, because this show is dark as fuck. Look, let's just put it out there.
They're not above dead
us
babies.
just knowing that
Certainly
baby
not.
died
Yeah.
is not on the outside of my mind with this show.
Yeah.
So I would believe it.
And the fact that this is what kind of surprised me, because Homelander gets more and more power hungry and sadistic as the show goes on. And then at the end, he saves Butcher.
Well,
Why?
Does he necessarily save him?
Yeah.
I may be misremembering it.
Because he's about to blow up, and he says
Yeah.
that we're all going to die. I'm going to blow this up. You're going to die. I'm going to die. She's going to die. Who cares?
and he obviously
yeah.
gets him out
and
of
he
there.
gets him out of there.
That's right. And they
And
fly
then
into
they
the front
fly
yard.
to the front yard of his ex-wife,
the
who's
one who's
there
supposedly dead,
with baby Homelander.
who's now 8 or 9ish, 10 years old.
Yeah. So why save the Butcher?
Did he do it just to rub it in his face?
That's what I'm thinking. And obviously it's a TV show. Obviously we can't kill the Butcher. Obviously we know Homelander is an absolute fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And he is the type of guy that's going to say, look at what I did. Look who this is. That belongs to me because I raped your fucking wife.
And I
know
took her
she's
from you."
not dead, and I took her from you. Yeah.
Well, no, because they do show that eventually she was not raped. She was
No,
consensual.
she was
Yeah.
she was consensual. She ended up pregnant, and then didn't they pay her off to go away from him or something because
Yeah.
they wanted that
no,
baby to
they lied. Well, yes, they lied to him, Homelander,
Yeah.
telling him that the baby
the
died,
baby passed
drowned
away.
in his mother's blood within 10 seconds.
and he killed her and she died, and it's your fault.
Yeah, blaming. Yep.
So you don't really know where it's going to go with season 2.
Yeah. I could see that being way more disarming than killing him, saying,
Look,
all those
yeah.
things you were fighting for, it's all bullshit.
And
Yeah.
I think
It's
that,
all things you made up in your head and none of it exists.
and with justification and good reason, Homelander believes that he can put Butcher out easily.
Yeah.
So him saving him in the moment that he would have died wouldn't have given him the satisfaction of showing him that. So he's probably like, in his mind, he's like, I'll just fucking kill him later. So I'm going to drag him over here. Before I kill him, he's going to die with this knowledge of knowing that this is my child. And,
Yep.
yeah.
I
So-
wonder if season 2 starts on the lawn. Like right then, right
I hope
there.
it does.
Go
That
right
I
into
mean,
it.
even-
I don't want a 3-year time jump.
No,
I don't want
to a week later see Butcher sitting in a bar trying to figure out what to do next. I don't want to see
man.
that. Yeah,
No.
I don't want to see. I want to see him waking up on the lawn and being like, "What
the
in the
fuck?"
fuck?" Yeah,
Here's something that I also want to see. That's kind of from the books here. Another little spoiler alert. In the books, the boys have used Compound V.
Ooh.
They use it so they can even the odds
Mhm.
and fight pound for pound with the superheroes.
They're getting Super Billy the Butcher in season 2, maybe.
and little baby muscular Huey,
So here's the thing.
Huey with muscles.
Huey with muscles.
Well, that's how you find that out. Is they hit everybody with that, and in the books, the comics, they're setting up this B-level superhero team. They're rigging their house. They're trying to expose them for a lot of things, and Homelander tips them off that the boys are who they are. And this is what's happening to you guys. You know why you're getting such bad press and why all this is happening on? It's because of the boys. And the boys have been playing very underhanded up until this point. Like, oh, let's, release a press release here. We'll release a videotape here. We'll expose this guy, like one of the guy they exposed for being gay. And in the society, they're like, we don't want this. He can't be a part of the superhero team because he's gay, which is stupid in
That's
its
a
own
bit
right.
dated.
Right. Yeah. And so they find the boys out in the middle of the street, and they're like, yeah, you fucked up now. We're gonna kick your fucking ass now because of what you've done to us. And Billy's like, all right.
Let's go. Yep.
And they don't even have to do that. It's a permanent thing. So
Oh.
you shoot yourself with it. You got the powers. Done deal.
So you hit the compound V button, just
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so they're fighting, and they obviously know how to do this, but Huey does not. And so this poor bastard comes over to fight Huey, and Huey doesn't want to fight him, swings one time and punches right through his chest
that I want to see.
and kills him.
I don't
And they're
see
just like,
Huey
everybody's
dying that
like,
fast.
oh my God. No, it's not Huey. It's the superhero that's fighting
Huey,
him.
gotcha. Oh, I thought you were saying they punched through Huey. I was
No.
like, wait a second.
Like he has no technique, he has no training.
so
no
he doesn't,
power.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't know his own strength. Okay.
Exactly.
That is a very Huey thing. So
yes.
I
love
perfect.
that. Yeah. Okay.
And they kind of tried to portray that with Huey and Translucent, I think.
Yeah.
That Huey didn't have the
Fighting skills.
capability for malice.
But damn, he pulled it out right at the end,
And
didn't
then
he?
when Translucent's like,
Yeah.
yeah, see you later, buddy. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
that
His
made
ass
I
explodes.
thought he was going to walk away.
Yeah.
Like I just thought Huey was going to go, nah.
Yeah.
But when that happened, I was like, oh shit!
And then a body just splats. Yeah.
when it goes from invisible to just all over the walls.
Yep. Oh, there's more in there.
So okay, there are 2 characters listed on Wikipedia for season 2.
Yeah.
You can tell me if these are in the comics if you've seen them yet. Tech Knight,
Yes. Oh, my God.
an astronaut like superhero, only flies in space. He was the leader of the Payback.
So Tech Knight, if I'm not mistaken, is a different story arc in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And Tech Knight starts hearing this sound in his ear and can't help but have sex with whatever's in front of him.
That is awesome.
This is even better because I can't wait to tell you who's playing him.
I know who's playing it.
Who?
Patton Oswalt.
Oh no!
But in this, like, Tech Knight is in a suit and he's very big, and it is impossible for people to stop him. Like, he's talking to a therapist about it. The therapist leaves, he comes back, and Tech Knight is fucking his cat. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh boy, yeah, I'm trying to find something for you of
Holy
what
shit.
Tech Knight looks like. But yeah,
That is great.
Is it anything like Patton Oswalt?
no, it's not.
Is it a Hulk-sized Patton Oswalt?
No,
Is he just regular sized?
it's just
But very
he's-
strong?
he's- I don't know, man. He is a very interesting looking guy, and I'm trying to find a picture of him here, but I can't seem to find it right now as it would go. But oh yeah, here's that scene I was telling you about right here when they want to go beat up the boys, and here's
This
Butcher
is great
saying,
for podcasting. Here,
let's-
show me that
let's-
picture.
Let's
Yeah,
give him
show
a.
me
He's
the
just saying,
picture.
let's give him a fucking spanking, and you can see the boys are ready to rock and roll, and it's then you see a gerbil. But yeah, so here's this guy going after Huey, and then I just want to make sure you get that so we can hear Mark's when Huey does it. Oh yeah, here we go, right here.
Oh shit! That's exactly what I expected.
Yeah,
That is
it's
fantastic.
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
hardcore.
It's,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
It
that's
definitely
pretty good.
surprises Huey and everybody else.
Is this the second book that you're looking at?
This is the first book.
Oh wow! So that's
Yeah, volume 1.
okay. So in the wait, I'm like, so in the first book they took Compound V.
All of them.
Well,
Butcher.
this is a big book.
Butcher's
Like,
mother,
compendium.
Butcher, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and the woman already have it in them when you meet them.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's the
Okay.
difference. Okay.
So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I
And so
really,
when
really
Huey-
hope that they're saving that maybe for season 2
When Huey
shit
finally
really goes south.
yeah, when Huey finally proves himself and he's like, "Yeah, I'm ready for this." They're like, "Okay," and they literally just don't even ask him. They just shoot it in his neck, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Don't worry, it's just
So
even in
then
the playing
season
field."
is the first book kind of aligning with season 1? Like is
No.
book 2 going to be okay? So it's totally
No.
different.
So it's almost like a
I
half
like it.
prequel kind of thing.
I like it because I think that the series is going to go longer and have different story arcs. And
One was great, and if they didn't even touch that much source material,
Yeah, that's what
in
I was
one,
just thinking.
That's great. Like you said, that can go a long
it could be
time.
5, 6,
this
7
one
seasons.
ends pretty
Like a Walking Dead
definitively. There is not going to be a volume 3. There's no way.
Oh, it's done.
It's done. So if they're going the way of the book, they're not investing in the boys.
So we're probably
I
getting like
like
3 seasons out of it.
Yeah.
Which most shows should be 3 seasons.
Especially
and
when
that's
they're even if there's 8 episodes,
6
they're an
seasons
hour.
in a movie.
They're 6 seasons. Hashtag community. But anyway, if they're even at 8 episodes, which seems like a short season, but they're hour-long episodes. So
Yeah.
I mean, even
Yeah.
3 or 4 seasons, that's
a
hours
lot
and
of
hours
content.
and hours of content. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other character, Stormfront. Are you familiar with Stormfront?
I'm not.
Stormfront is a super associated with the Seven who threatens Homelander's leadership while using social media to secretly advance her political agenda.
Nice.
So she's
Oh.
trying to
So
shoot
she's
for his position.
Homelandering Homelander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And played by Aya Tash, who I don't know who she is, but she looks familiar.
Mm.
Boom. There you
Let me
go.
see. Yeah, no, I don't know her.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I have the titles for the episodes of season 2.
Oh.
What's number 1?
The Big Ride.
Oh,
And
man.
I'm like, ooh.
it doesn't even mean anything, but we're like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
Here comes
I
the
hope
next.
that's not Patton Oswalt on a cat.
Oh, if I'm wrong about this,
He's
which I
gonna
don't,
fuck that
I don't believe I am.
mechanical
Yeah, yeah. Somebody tell me. But the next one is proper preparation and planning, which is
That does nothing
who
for
is.
me.
It
Who is?
sounds like a filler episode already.
I don't think. Man, see, we see things
See,
differently.
they could be steaming.
Yep.
Yeah,
be
yeah,
steaming.
yeah.
Then there's one, nothing like it in the world,
Ooh.
which to me,
Is
I
Patton
think could be
Oswalt fucking a cat?
leave. I think.
I'm done, I'm sorry.
Let's hear it for Megan.
You're such a dick.
Anyway, I think
He's
that's
going to get that button at home.
where the boys try Compound V.
What's that title? One more time.
Nothing like it in the world.
Yeah,
I can see
I
it.
can see it too.
Then we have, and so that would play into a perfect. This is going to be a fucking crazy episode 4. Over the hill with the swords of 1,000 men.
Oh, my God.
Let's go,
Let's
dude.
do it.
Let's go. And then obviously this is going to go up Schitt's Creek because the next one's called We Gotta Go Now.
Oh. That's when the swords come back.
Yeah.
You have to run down the hill.
Yeah. Then it's The Bloody Doors Off.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I think shit is going to go down. Then Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker.
Okay,
It's good to have
okay.
a hobby. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's fun to pretend.
I like candles.
And then the season finale is called What I Know.
Oh, boy. Are we going to get another big bombshell right at the end?
There has to be because
gotta
there's
be.
no way.
Gotta
There's
be.
no way it ends.
Yep,
right
I
there.
completely agree with that.
Is that only 7? There's only 7 episodes.
That's 8.
Oh,
Count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, Amazon really pulled this out of nowhere. 'Cause
Yeah, they
I
did.
didn't see this coming until I started seeing trailers for it. And I'm like, oh, what is this? I've seen the graphic novels on shelves, but I've never been inclined to pick them up.
Well, your friend has them.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to borrow them.
You can borrow them and crack them open if you want.
But, yeah, I mean, good for you, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. With the amount of gore that comes with it, and I don't really know Amazon's their outputs history or what they're what to expect from them. But I figured that after watching the first episode, I was kind of like, this seems like an HBO sort of thing.
We've talked about this on this podcast before, is that I think the way Amazon is going is the way people making movies or TV shows or what have you based off of the source material.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should do.
Yes.
If it's crazy, if it's gory, if it's off the hinges, and you're going to make that, you
need
can't
to give
have.
it
You gotta
justice.
commit.
You
Yep.
can't have Reading Rainbow for
No.
something like
Exactly.
The Boys.
Yes.
You've got to come at it, and you
So
got to
that
come
they
at it
commit.
hard.
Yeah.
And you got to have actors that are willing to commit to that craziness. And as much as we all hate him, and as much as he's a pain in the ass, and we hate his character, that is such an testament to the guy that plays Homelander.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Because I'm like, I didn't like this guy. I was like, man. And then he started playing into the psycho stuff, and I wrote his name down. I want to make sure he shout him out because I know he listens to the show.
Of course.
Anthony
that is
Starr?
Anthony Starr, yep.
There we go.
Plays John / the Homelander.
John.
Yeah. Anthony, because it's no
Anthony.
H. Anthony. You do a great job, Anthony. Let's have you on the show. You have my people get in contact with your people. You, Carl Urban, the whole gang. Show up.
We will turn on the air conditioning.
We'll
for
turn on
you.
the AC for
Yeah,
you.
we will.
Big
It's hot
time.
in here today, right now.
But that's going to do it for this episode of Alter Ego Podcast. We love you guys. Thank you so much for paying attention and taking the time to download and listen to the episode. You can find us at gmail.com, alteregopodcast2@gmail.com, at podcast_ego on Twitter, Facebook at Alter Ego Podcast, Instagram at Alter Ego Pod, and youtube.com/Alter Ego Podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us, and I'm going to put the music on and play it in really slowly, so it sounds like it's going on in the background, and it also clues you in to the fact that the episode is over. You're like, oh, there's that music. They must be done.
No.
It's come to an end.
Thank you, Ford Supply.
I'm so happy
We
to be
love
alive.
you. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, your girlfriend didn't have coronavirus. That's crazy.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
It's like I almost said whatever I felt like saying. She's sick as hell, though.